sound? So 54321.
That sounds good. Did you want, I can like screen share the presentation.
That would be fantastic if you could all screen share. If you have at least one person in your group that's got that capability, that way you can kind of move through it at your own pace. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So group 5, we'll start off with you guys. Dave was going to try to jump on a few minutes before 6:15. I am going to take my dog out of here right now, so I'll be right back. And because he almost knocked over a lamp just a minute ago, so I'll be right back. Okay. Hey, you guys all good? I see a
Yeah.
lot of black boxes and people not talking, so let's talk. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, or at least
Okay.
thumbs up. Okay, I'll be right back. Get him out of here. Okay, Atticus, what are you doing? Okay. Oop. Okay. I don't know how I ever got talked into having an 80-pound puppy that, oh my gosh, it's going to be the death of me, you guys. All right. So how are we feeling about this? Since let's all just take a breath before Dave gets here. So Ryan, you're going to screen share with the first one with Team
That's
5?
correct. Whenever Dave says he's ready to present, then yeah.
Okay. All right. Then Team 4. You guys gonna screen share?
Yeah,
Or you want me to do it? I can do it if you want.
I don't mind screen sharing it for the group. I just pulled up the presentation, so.
Cool. Cool. Okay, perfect. Team 3. Team 3. Great. Oh, Team 3 still coming in.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes.
I have to leave for a little bit to get some medication applied because I have a condition that's flaring up right now, but I'll be back soon.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Angel. Thanks for telling me. Okay, Team 3, you gonna screen share or do you need me to? Okay, thank you. And Team 2?
I can screen share for my team.
Great. Okay. And then Team 1, are you going to make Angel screen share since he stepped out for a second? I'm just kidding. Oscar?
I could screen share. I'm just kind of a little nervous. My laptop might die.
Okay.
But yeah, I can screen share.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, we got that all figured out. And yeah, you guys feel like you've had any breakthrough moments on research thus far? Kind of. I'm hoping tonight that that you get a good handle on, that we all get a good handle on if they have anything in their back pocket. Yeah, with this, because there's a lot of potential options for them. And this time in the industry is also a really unique time that lots of opportunities, but the environment is changing so quickly. It's hard to know kind of which way the wind will be blowing.
I will say, kind of a breakthrough moment I had. I was, for my presentation, I was kind of looking into the history
Mhm.
of like what they've done in the past internationally. And it kind of gave me a better idea as to what kind of countries would work for them and like what region. And like I've started to like pinpoint specific countries that I think they'd like.
Oh,
So
cool. Very cool.
been
Very,
helpful.
yeah. Yeah. Some of the stuff you guys came up with was really fascinating. Yeah, group 5, you guys have some interesting, really interesting pieces of intel here. So, yeah, the channel analysis group 1, was that off their website? That it was like the pie chart primary channel used. It was like your third slide going in. Can you recall, Oscar?
I'm not exactly sure where we got that. The cost of sales and marketing primary channels, right?
Yeah, that was good info.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we got that, honestly. I don't know who did that slide.
Yeah, good stuff. So finding good stuff is always kind of like finding buried treasure. So, and then the global and food trends. Well, I'm looking forward to jumping into those a little bit more too, as you guys have got some interesting things out there. Oh, Karina, your mic's not working. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I will not pull up group 5s at all. I'll let you guys bring that up since I have the lengthier one. And then team 4 would like to go last. Okay. You got it, Karina. Oh, I'm sorry. This dog. And over the weekend, I went to Lowe's and got some bedding plants, some primroses because they're so pretty and liven up the yard. And I looked at the dog. I was sitting here working earlier this afternoon, and the rain had, dried up most of it, and he was frolicking around in the backyard. And all of this, and I thought, oh, isn't he cute? And all of a sudden, I looked and he'd gotten into all the 4-inch pots that had the new primroses in them and was flinging them up in the air and trying to catch the dirt as it fell down and catching the flowers. Ugh. He's just horrible. So if he wasn't so dang endearing, that's the worst of it all. Wish he was just ugly and grouchy. And okay. All right. So Dave's joining us, you guys. You don't have to listen to my stories of the horrible golden retriever puppy. Hello, Dave.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you?
We got to get this logistics figured out. I've been sitting on the Teams meeting for like 15 minutes.
Oh, I am so sorry.
It's not you. I gotta chat with Jacqueline.
Okay. Yeah, I almost sent the reminder we're not using Teams. And then Then I did because I thought, everybody already knows this, right? So I'm sorry.
It is
So
all good.
anyway,
I'm gonna send her a quick note
Yeah.
before I forget.
okay. Well, we've got a game plan and I've told them that we're trying to keep this in under an hour, yet we really are doing some fact finding tonight. So we'll try to keep this succinct and be mindful of your time because I know you do have 2 hours at least ahead of us. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's my bedtime, but we're getting close.
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to turn it over to group 5, right? Ryan, you got this?
That's correct. I'm going to screen share my presentation.
Okay.
Great.
Presentation. All right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
perfect.
So
Looks
you
like
said group 5. I thought for some reason you said group fried rice. That just tells you my mental state. So it's like,
Mm,
that's pretty cool they came up with team names, but never mind. Let's go.
makes me hungry.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so we're group 5. We're going to be presenting our situation analysis, and we're going to start with sales and marketing.
Hello, everyone. So I'm the sales and marketing slide. So current services that Acosta provides for its consumers include sales, e-commerce, retail services, business intelligence, marketing, commercial solutions to manufacturers and retailers, and some of the innovative tech that they incorporate into their sales and marketing includes data analytics and digital marketing, which has sales decomposition, account rankings, product velocity, and distribution analysis. And some automation solutions includes cutting down on costs of expensive technological software.
All right, and for Acosta history, Acosta has a division titled Acosta Europe that is primarily located in the UK and seems to serve both the UK and Ireland areas. They've been active for over 40 years and have long-term partnerships with brands such as Nestle, Premier Foods, and British American Tobacco. One example of international partnership can be found during the pandemic. Acosta partnered with Talysis, a British data analysis company, to launch the Convenience Insight Partnership. And when realizing that more shoppers were opting for convenience stores during the pandemic, this partnership helped Acosta partners gain access to knowledge and insights on the convenience sector of United Kingdom retail. This is an example of a partnership that Acosta could utilize to help them serve their partners in other areas of the world.
Acosta has been in the game for quite some time now, and they serve a wide range of clients with various marketing services. And while they're pretty good at what they do, sticking to the old school methods might hold them back a bit, along with not venturing much into the global markets and facing some issues with keeping their best people around. Still, there's room for growth. And if they dive into digital marketing, they team up with other companies, explore new markets, and use data to their advantage, they could grow and dive into different markets. But they've got to watch out for fierce competitors, economic ups and downs, law changes, and not falling behind in tech race.
So the BCG matrix, for example, the cash cows, Acosta established services like food brokerage, likely dominate stable markets, bringing in steady revenue. Some of the question marks are newer services like digital marketing and data analytics may have small market shares in fast-growing areas, which offer growth potential but also need investment. The stars would be Acosta's diverse consumer products that excel rapidly in growing markets, capturing significant market share. And then for the dogs, struggling services or products with low market shares in slow growing areas need evaluation to determine if they're worth keeping or revamping. Further clarification from Davis needed. Yeah.
I think that's actually a really interesting question. You know, I mentioned during our kickoff call that we have like 85 different services. And, you know, I think it would be in just kind of good diligence to say, you know, is that right? Is that too many? Is it not enough? So I think a good provocative question.
Thank you.
For Acosta's playing field, it involves sales, marketing, and commercial solutions for manufacturers and retailers. It also works with various channels, including grocery, drug, convenience, club, and mass merchandise. Landscapes of commerce, sales, marketing, and retail's execution that will help the brands they are helping maximize their business performance within the channels. Some competitors would be CAD Distributions, Advantage Solutions, Crossmark, and Damon Worldwide, which do similar things like chain grocery retailers and drugs and e-commerce and retailers.
Just for the future, so you know, that's KHE. I don't know why, but it's KHE.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It doesn't look like it.
Okay, so how can Acosta leverage domestic customers? Well, let me tell you, through strategic planning and adaptation. By focusing on these 5 bullet points shown here, Acosta could leverage by providing guidance and support to those customers considering or planning to expand. Once a customer and region are chosen, Acosta has the opportunity to leverage through newer services such as digital marketing and data analytics. Key factors that should be considered include target markets, adapting products to meet customer needs, fostering innovation, and conducting risk assessments to ensure successful outcomes.
Yeah, as we get into next steps, it'll be really exciting to hear kind of specific recommendations for some of these.
Yes.
All right, and I believe that is our presentation. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening, Dave.
Yeah. I think this is a great framework to start with. Any other questions besides the one that was called out on the slides in terms of info or feedback I could give you?
I think we are, oh, I'm sorry, Ryan.
Honestly, not
We
at
kind
this
of want
moment.
to confirm our assumption. So if there's anything that we're going down the path that may not be relevant, let us know. But Ryan, I'll let you take over. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just gonna say I don't have any questions as of right now, but if any come up, we'll let you know in the discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Cool. And yeah, Professor, I know we've got several of these to go through. If it's okay, I'll give feedback on each as we go and kind of ask the same question at the end. If anybody's got anything kind of burning right now, like happy to answer it now, or I don't know if you're treating this like kind of a competition, or if folks want to ask me privately afterwards, that's fine too. Like if they have a question they don't want the whole group to hear, it's all fair game.
Okay, at this point, we're just all in this trying to do fact finding on our own and then sharing notes as in tonight. So
Perfect.
Hey, Dave, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your approach to transitioning into digital marketing? How's that going?
So clarify just a little bit by what you mean when you say digital marketing.
Like what strategies and initiatives through, like, for social media, websites?
Yeah, so I think there's probably 2 sides to this. So we've been in what I would call kind of pure digital marketing side of things for years, if not decades. So doing things like social media campaigns, email campaigns. We're really now starting to get super heavy into retail media networks. So I won't say most, there's a lot of retail outlets that have digital screens somewhere in the store, and they actually sell that space to manufacturers to advertise their products. And so that's now just kind of another avenue that our clients are using to promote their products is through these retail media networks. And what's interesting is, like, it started like it wasn't a thing at all. Like, if you wanted a sign, it had to be paper or cardboard or whatever. Then these fixtures existed, and it was kind of like, if you wanted to take advantage of it, great. Now what we're seeing more and more of is retailers dictating to clients, like, we expect a certain amount of your marketing spend to be in retail media network. Big surprise, because the retailer actually earns profit based on that. Like, they're selling that space at a premium. So that's what I would call kind of the, not really traditional, but half of the digital marketing equation. The other half is focused around omni-channel and e-commerce. And I would say we've been really, really good at pure play e-commerce, like Amazon.com, Walmart.com, for a number of years, especially with our acquisition of OEP. Where we've just started within the last, call it 3 to 5 years, is with like true omni-channel. So not only reaching the pure play e-commerce, but also the, things like Instacart, the individual grocery.com sites, so like Hy-Vee.com and Wegmans.com, et cetera, that all have a very, very different approach on each one for what you need to do for like search engine optimization and product display pages. Like, what's successful on Walmart.com is not what's successful on Target.com. And until we'll just say 5 years ago, we didn't have a team of experts that knew how to maximize a brand's presence on all of those kind of smaller websites that honestly weren't as important kind of pre-pandemic. But now that every order online, pickup in store, delivery to home has just exploded. So the way your brand shows up on every single grocer's website matters now, where it probably didn't 10 years ago. Does that help? I just said a whole lot of words. Okay.
I try to write most of it, but I got some of it, some key points.
Hey, look, it's being recorded, so you can always go back and.
You're right. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Group 5, anything else, or shall we move on?
I'm ready to move on if everyone else is.
Okay. Thanks, Group 5. You guys did good. Who wanted to go next? Was it? Oh, Karina's group was Group 3? You ready?
Yeah, Group 3.
Okay.
Yep. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Let me see if I can collapse this here. All right, cool. Okay, we're Group 3. I think Avi can take it away for the introduction and overview.
Hi guys, we're Group 3, and this is our presentation. So the overview, Acosta is a leading sales and marketing agency specializing in consumer packaged goods, and founded in 1927, headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida. They offer a range of services to help brands connect with consumers and grow their business. Key services: sales presentation, securing placements for CPG products in brick and mortar, online, and food service channels. Marketing and data insights, using data and analytics to understand consumer behavior and develop effective marketing strategies. Merchandising, optimizing product placement and displays to boost sales in stores. Key strengths: extensive reach and relationships, strong connections with major retailers and CPG brands. Diverse expertise, a team with deep knowledge of the CPG industry and various sales channels. And lastly, technology and data-driven approach, utilizing technology and data to deliver insights and optimize results.
So for the SWOT analysis, for strengths, we put down Acosta has established strong relationships with clients, which is a competitive advantage. Costa also has a diverse range of expert abilities, which gives them an advantage of operating areas. For weaknesses, with operating in such diverse set of regions can come complications in being able to comprehend the difference in cultural strategies as well as the differences in laws in each region that each region may come with, as well as handling operations on a global scale can come with complications of economic performance or profits due to foreign currency rates. As far as opportunities, introducing additional services is an opportunity to meet the evolving needs of consumers, as well as building partnerships and strategic connections with local organizations may help open up new market opportunities and improve market shares. And as far as threats, competition from both local and international organizations could emerge as threats, which impact Acosta's market share profit.
Thank you, Crystal. My name is Sir Javon, and I'm going to be breaking down the BCG matrix here, which includes the question mark, star, dogs, and the cash cow. In terms of a question mark, data analytics division, digital marketing services, stars would definitely include sales and marketing services, especially for emerging brands. Dogs would be things like traditional print advertising services, and we're pretty much in the digital age, so those things are really going out the window. And cash cows include retail merchandising services. So I'm going to break this down further. So investing in stars provides sales and marketing services for emerging brands, like I said, milking the cash cow, using technology solutions and offering additional value-added services that will meet the evolving needs of clients, and taking time to develop question marks, developing them essentially into stars. So that would be pretty much leveraging machine learning and AI to deliver targeted and personalized marketing campaigns for clients, driving engagement and conversation, and focusing on building brand awareness by showcasing their expertise, success stories, and innovative solutions. And then, of course, for dogs, you want to divest as much as possible, excuse me. So what Acosta would have to do here is identify repetitive tasks within underperforming services that can be automated using technology. And what this would do is essentially reduce costs and allow staff to focus on higher value activities.
Just point of like a question on the cash cow. Is that a top line or a bottom line measurement? Meaning, is it about the revenue or about the profit when they call something a cash cow?
Yeah, it really would be about the profit.
Okay. So I think it's safe for us to, potentially take a hard look at that. So in terms of dollars worth of profit, retail is absolutely a cash cow. In terms of points of margin, everything in retail is razor thin margins. We see much higher margins on like our marketing and e-commerce and space management activities, but the actual dollars that go to the bottom line are smaller just because the retail business is so huge. So just as a little bit of, I don't know, extra clarity on when we say cash cow, would totally agree that retail is. Just understanding that if we get a new client in retail that's going to spend $200,000 with us, or a new client in digital commerce that's going to spend $200,000 with us, we'll get way more profit from the digital commerce client than we will from the retail client.
Okay, thank you for that, Dave.
The flip side of that coin is we don't have a single client that doesn't use our retail services. We have we'll say several clients that don't use our digital commerce services. Retail is the only one service that all of our clients use. Sorry to interrupt, just keep going.
No, thanks. That's what that's exactly what we need. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Crystal, and I'll be presenting Acosta's competitive landscape. Acosta is a sales and marketing company which provides services to consumer packaging goods. Acosta provides its clients with services such as services in headquarters sales, retail services, and back office solutions, just to name a few, which are aimed to drive up sales, use data analytics to provide businesses with insights for its clients, build their brand, and establish a retail and/or online presence in the marketplace. And some competitors that I've identified in the sales and marketing industry are Spars Group, Crossmark, VDS Marketing, Advantage Solutions, SAS Retail Services, and Damon Worldwide.
Just as info, we would consider Crossmark and Advantage as our two main competitors, with SAS being a pretty close third.
Okay, so now to cover Acosta's ability to leverage current domestic customers with international expansion. Customer footprint is a really important thing to consider, which would be there's the potential for leveraging existing relationships with CPG brands for market insights and global expansion support. Services and expertise, so adapting proven sales, marketing, and merchandising expertise to new and emerging markets, and leveraging positive track record and client testimonials in order to build trust with international partners. There are some potential challenges. In order to mitigate against those, there's some things to keep in mind, including cultural differences. So it's really important to navigate through these differences in business practices, consumer behavior, and regulations, which vary from country to country. And to consider partnering locally to gain market insights and navigate the complexities within these different countries, as well as developing strategies to differentiate from existing international competitors. And that's our presentation. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, this is great. Great start. Professor, we are 2 for 2.
Great. Okay.
Any other questions, group 3?
No, thank you so much for that feedback. I'm going to go back on this recording. I wanted to take notes, but I really wanted to listen to what you had to say. So I'm going to go back on this recording and then we'll make our necessary adjustments. So thank you again.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I think group 4 is so group 2. You guys ready?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
Can you guys see this just fine?
Yep, looks good.
Okay. We're group 2. Here's a quick little overview. Oh, wrong one. Hold on, how do you move this bar? Okay. Acosta Sales and Marketing is one of the largest sales and marketing service providers in the U.S. It was founded in 1927 as a family-run single market food broker in Jacksonville, Florida, by Louis L.T. Acosta. The company has grown internationally with operations in Canada and Europe.
All right, so for our SWOT analysis, first we got the strengths, which is extensive industry experience and a diverse service portfolio, which includes sales representation and retail execution. Now, along with going on to the weaknesses, these can include the competitors. These are internal factors that are determined by the company's performance. The vast number of competitors can create a problem for the company, with more options being available for customers. Now, with the opportunities, the digital marketing trends and global expansion are some of them, and strategic partnerships that they acquire can also enhance its capabilities. And finally, the threats. The challenges include vulnerabilities tied to client dependence and the need to innovate in saturated markets with a limited customer base, limited differentiation, and a slowing population growth.
Okay, so for the BCG matrix, we kind of talked about specifics as well as like other things. So for a star for Acosta would be their sales and marketing services, which another team has also talked about as well. We think, as we know, it's where Acosta shines, and as marketing sales have shown a tremendous need due to the transition into the technological world. And then we had said that Coca-Cola would be one of their star players, as they have a really great brand identity, and they have a bunch of people under their wing, or other brands, or other soft drink brands compared to like other ones. And again, they have great brand recognition. A question mark. This was kind of so for this one, we had said that just expanding into a new market that they currently aren't in is an obvious question mark, just because going into a new realm, you don't really have certainty of whether or not you'll do good or not. It's just like a waiting game type thing. So that's just like a broad kind of question mark that everyone faces, but specifically Acosta due to how many brands that they have right now. And then one of our teammates had done some research about the Aloha plant-based protein bars. I had put that as a question mark, just because they found it to be a little bit newer, and it's currently a question mark right now because, like I said, they're new, and also it's there's a lot of different protein bars out there, so you kind of have to wait and see how they'll do compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I would tell you that we are watching everything that's going on with plant-based and meat alternative very, very closely, because it seems to be like 1 week it's hot and 1 week it's cold. It's a crazy market right now.
Definitely. And to add to that, I used to be a vegetarian, so I would always go for the plant-based foods and plant-based everything, and then now that I'm not, I'm eating meat again, it's like a total different mind shift, and I look at it so different. So I could understand why there's a bit uncertainty there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace about just kind of the meat alternative in general.
Right. And then my other teammate will finish the other two.
All right, so for cash cows, a cash cow that Acosta faces is probably from the packaged goods that tend to cost a lot to make, and they may not see that return from the revenue. An example of this will be Dr. Pepper, as it is its own sector of soft drink and may not be as favorable as the ones Coca-Cola has. And for dogs, so a declining or outdated thing Acosta faces is traditional marketing tactics, as in newspapers, flyers, posters, etc. As stated previously, moving into a rounded with tech, as well as the environmental movement increasing in popularity, traditional marketing may be more work than the engagement they're bringing in. So for an example for this will be Campbell Soup Company, as they have low market share and relatively stay on shelves in grocery stores. So therefore, this will mean it's a low return in revenue. We feel like the market for instant soups are typically lower and not as in high demand as other instant packet foods may be today.
On this one, I might recommend that you guys take a second look at the cash cows bullet. So just as a reminder, we don't make anything. So we represent Coca-Cola, who makes a bajillion different drinks. We have represented Keurig Dr. Pepper. We don't actually produce any of those products. So as you're looking at cash cows, you'd want to be looking at the services that we offer to those companies and not the actual products that they sell.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our competitive landscape, Acosta sales and marketing as a viable competitor in advantage solutions, creating a field on intense competition. Both companies are establishing a robust market presence, offering a diverse range of services encompassing sales representation, marketing strategies, and retail execution. Sadly, Winsight and Pinata are Acosta's group top competitors since they offer similar services. In December of 2021, the acquisition of Premium Retail Services, a company that offers a variety of services such as retail marketing and consumer engagement, benefited by Acosta by received expertise employees, blossoming their employee count to over 30,000. In February of 2022, Acosta acquired OEP, an agency focused on white glove services that reaches across multiple categories, not only expanding its brand presence, but also its return on investment on the platform of Amazon. The acquisition helps accelerate and expand the digital e-commerce services.
Yeah, on the third bullet, I would just throw in that one of the other huge wins that we had from acquiring Premium was their technology platform.
Okay.
So they actually built their own system for how work gets sent to the folks in the field, and we have since adopted that platform for all of our retail associates. So we've now got, call it 27,000 associates all on the same retail platform when we had 5 or 6 before.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Amira. I'm going to be discussing the partnerships that we believe Acosta could leverage. Initially, we started with looking at McCormick because McCormick has 100. They have in 2 segments across 170 countries and territories, and we thought that that might really be beneficial for Acosta. We're looking at possibly Acosta utilizing a bundle method if we could find multiple companies that are looking to expand internationally and bringing them in to a retail store, placing an end cap where it's focused somewhat on where possibly breakfast consumer packaged goods, take an end cap in a store and just kind of bring 4 or 5 companies in with them. One company, of course, we were looking at was Aloha Foods. From a global health perspective, I mean, there's a lot of alternative food products out there, and there's a lot of curiosity about alternative food products because they're with the population fluctuating and a lot of migration. Some countries are dealing with I guess, lack of access to certain foods and things like that. So we thought that maybe plant-based might be the way to go. Maybe other plant-based companies as well. Aloha Foods is one of the companies that actually is doing they seem to be doing really well. They have, they're saying that they are a B corporation. So they're really focused on being a benefit foundation type of company. So they're looking at social responsibility, environmental sustainability, which is really important for consumers these days. According to the trends are leaning more towards, consumer trends are leaning more towards people who want companies who are being very environmentally responsible. And I think that Aloha would be a really good company that Acosta could utilize to go further into another market. Also, the partnership with Pensa Systems, that one is an excellent, we believe that's an excellent company. When you mentioned earlier, you were saying that you could scan an entire aisle, right? And just get all this background on all these companies or these products that are on the shelf. That's like amazing. I was like blown away about that information. So I think that would be a great company to bring into another market. And then we have Acosta and Bazaar Voice, the leader provider of product reviews and user generated solutions. And it was really important, the technology aspect of reaching customers, because according again to the trends, they're saying that customers want to be able to access information online, know where their product is, know when it's coming, if it's being delivered, knowing it's available in the store that they go to on a regular basis. So that's really important so that they can have that user-generated solutions. Another potential partnership to leverage could be Beyond Meats. Again, we're talking about going plant-based. because there's a lot of vegetarian options that people are looking for. Not just meat, also seafood is expanding. So people are really kind of looking for alternatives to meat. Culturally, in a lot of different countries right now, where there's limitations on, I guess like there's like problems or issues going on with fishing. There's just kind of global issues going on with resources that are readily available. Going vegan might be the next, I guess, big thing, in my opinion, in our opinion. So that's what we're looking at right now. And that concludes our presentation.
So if you'll keep this up on the screen for a second, just a few points of feedback. So first of all, applaud this group for, it seems like you're a little bit further along in the process because you're already starting to talk about ways to partner. You certainly can't read my handwriting, but the last meeting I was on today, we were getting some feedback from our CIO about our most recent board meeting, and right there in my notes says bundling of services. So that was a great call out there. You've also brought up a really interesting point about technology partners that we leverage currently, and how important it'll be to make sure that those providers also operate in whatever country we're talking about expanding to, assuming that we want to bring the full like portfolio of services to whatever the new country is. So great work.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we're definitely looking at further to see like what we can do to kind of put a few consumer goods together for you to take with you on an international expansion. Thank you, Dave.
This is great.
Good job, you guys.
3 for 3, Professor.
Oh, what can I say? These guys are rock stars.
They are. This is fantastic.
Group 1, are we good? I know Angel had to step out for just a minute.
Yeah, we should be fine, Professor. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, cool.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
It's thinking about it.
It's loading.
There it
Oh.
is.
Yeah, shut up.
There we go.
Okay, so we're group number 1, and this is our presentation of Acosta. So first and foremost, sorry, I'm having a few technical difficulties.
We've all been there.
It's all good. I gave a workshop today on generative AI to about 80 folks at the office. And for some reason, the PowerPoint that I had put together for this was set to automatically advance slides every 15 seconds. And I didn't figure that out for a little bit.
Oh, I
It
could
was just
see.
like, it was a
Yeah,
whole thing.
I'm going to
Yeah.
see if that could be.
If it's easier, we can look at it out of presentation mode and just in the window, if that's easier.
You want me to try sharing my screen, see if it works? All right.
Yeah, if you can, please.
Can you see it or no?
Yep.
Yeah, looks good.
So this is our presentation on the Acosta for the part one, introduction and situation analysis.
Hi, everyone, my name is Ashley, and then I'll be presenting on the overview of Acosta. So with Acosta sales and marketing, we're able to see that they leverage their full sales and marketing dashboard to the highest degree by showcasing the large number of retailers that they have assisted. On their webpage alone, we're able to see large names such as Coca-Cola, Hostess, Fresh Pen, and even Honest Beauty. So future clients definitely looking into their webpage have definitely seen just the large giants that they've assisted. Their work can be seen in club stores such as Costco, your local convenience store, drug and pharmaceuticals, e-commerce sites, grocery stores, mass manufacturing, military, pet, natural value, and even Walmart. Their services include business intelligence, headquarters sales, retail services, e-commerce, and even back office solutions. Okay, so thank you, Dave, for providing us with the spreadsheet of all the primary channels that Acosta uses. So really quick, just with this pie chart, we're able to see just exactly what primary channels Acosta mainly uses. So a large number of their revenue does come from assisting with grocery and NSS grocery stores. With this, we're also able to see larger numbers and larger players such as assisting in Canada NSS, C-stores, military, and impact clients. This is definitely allowing us to see where Acosta can leverage and where they're making the most money from. But seeing this actually did help our group to see what else is out there for them.
And were you able to pull out of something what NSS stands for?
I was actually going to ask you that after class, yeah, because I was kind of confused
Okay, yeah.
what that meant, but if you can share with
all the acronyms. It's natural specialty. So think like your Whole Foods, Fresh Market, things like that.
Thank you.
All right, so my name is Viviana and I'll be presenting the strengths of Acosta. Acosta is an industry-leading business intelligence. A division is the nerve center and catalyst behind the company's data-driven strategies and has optimization efforts. It is staffed with more than 600 multidiscipline experts. Their BI teams work one-on-one with their consumer goods manufacturers and retailers to generate insights that make a measurable difference. It incorporates data-driven insights into thoughtfully designed phases of execution. Acosta's strategic advisors collaborate with clients to proactively drive national priorities as well as manage local execution, aligning client and retailer strategies to maximize outcomes. Leveraging innovative technologies, Acosta analyzes ongoing activities to identify paths to improving category or space management, reducing out of stocks, ensuring ideal placement, and optimizing every inch of in-store space. Equally important, clients gain a visibility into the value of Acosta's data-driven efforts through a web-based dashboard. Fully automated with a point-and-click capabilities, the dashboard includes valuable insights such as sales, decomposition, accounting ranks, and product velocity, as well as distribution analysis. SWOT analysis weakness would be new competition in the market. It's important to remain aware of the threats that could affect your business. Also, lack of brand awareness. For example, a company with a low brand awareness may find it difficult to generate interest in its products or services, resulting in poor sales performance. Additionally, challenges in brand awareness can hinder a company's ability to command premium pricing or establish itself as a trusted authority in the industry. Acosta's international presence is small, potentially constraining growth opportunities in global markets. Limited access to new markets means limited access to new partnerships.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to say I totally agree with you on number two. Like, I think the first thing I said in our overview call is like, well, one of these big companies that you've never heard of, right?
Hello, my name is Angel. I'll be presenting opportunities and threats visual analysis. So there's a lot of opportunities, especially in international expansion, hence why Acosta wants to dip their toes in it a little bit more, because they can expand their presence in all these markets and leveraging expertise with some companies that they work with in America that do have international like presence. So the strategic partnerships, we can capitalize on the emerging opportunities that come from all these sources. And for e-commerce growth, e-commerce is always growing, and since that is growing, it leads to increasing opportunities that Acosta can take into. As long like if Acosta manages the growth and grows with it, then it just leads to more and more opportunities down the road with the evolving retail environment. And with e-commerce growth, data analytics and technology also grow, and Acosta can capitalize on this with technology solutions by offering innovative tools like you've shown with their use of AI. So it can allow better optimization and decision making and a general tracking for what we need. And threats. So with changes in e-commerce or technology, a lot of regulation and compliances that follow those changes. And so Acosta would need to be keeping up with these changes and regulations, making sure they're compliant with all these legal changes and just general regulation, because it could affect their operations with the client relationships, especially if they are going to be working internationally, because regulations and stuff also differ between where you are situated in. Economic uncertainty, the fluctuations in the economy for both main stations of Acosta and areas we are looking into being active in. And even the clients that we work with, we need to keep track of all these fluctuations and spending habits of the consumers in those areas. And the changing consumer preferences, we need to keep tabs with, like you said, if being like vegetarian or like having meat or impossible meat, we need to always keep track of these and see their preferences, and of course has to adapt for these. So it could be both something that could be threatening and opportunistic, all this change, and even technology, because what we're putting into now might either evolve towards something beneficial or harmful for Acosta. So Acosta always has to keep technology as both an opportunity and a threat. So it's just all about Acosta's ability to adapt and innovate these changes.
And I would say as we talk about technology, not only can it disrupt marketing practices, but keep in mind that there's also a pretty significant effect on our change management capacity and our competitors. So, you know, a few minutes ago, I mentioned that we've now got all of our retail reps on the same platform. If you put a couple of things together, we're a 95-year-old company. This is now like month 2 of having everybody on one tech platform, right? So making those kind of changes, obviously it didn't take us 95 years, but you know, making those changes takes time, keeping up with those changes takes time. And it's also important to understand tech that our competitors are investing in that maybe we aren't, as also an additional threat.
Yeah, true. I'll also be doing the BCG matrix with the star positioning. So for so digital transformation services that Acosta has as well, but the main star would be the retail and sales marketing support, because Acosta's retail sales marketing support services are mainly what they would be classified as stars, because its experiences high market growth, like it fluctuates, but for the most part it's always high in growth due to continuous evolution of the retail channels and the preferences of the consumers. So Costa has a strong presence and is very much has expertise in this area. And their question mark, as others have said, would be the international expanse services, because it's not necessarily uncharted territory, but it's still something that we're relatively new in. And so with the globalization and emerging market opportunities that we're keeping an eye on, there may be areas where we might have like lower relative market share compared to the very established domestic operations Acosta has, because we've in Acosta, they've laid a really solid foundation in the US. So expanding the footprint, taking a step further, it's definitely going to be raising some question marks with the sustainability as a major sector in that. And it's very important that Acosta defines how they're going to be sustaining their services going forward in their expansion.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oscar Montana, and I did the cash cow. So for this one, this is a low market growth, but a high potential growth. So some examples could include, for Acosta, this could include food and beverage offerings, and also having traditional marketing techniques and skills. So if, for example, this could include posters, flyers, billboards, newspaper ads as well. And then retail merchandising optimization. So Acosta focuses on putting certain goods in like certain parts in a store to get more sales depending on what the goods are or the services as well.
If you say a little bit more about the second one about including food and beverage offerings.
The second one, so I would say it could include like the pricing when it comes to foods, if there's a certain like discounts or maybe like promotion going on with a certain food like Pop-Tarts, and then if they buy like 4 boxes of Pop-Tarts, maybe they could get something else that's included as well with it.
I gotcha. So either like a bundle or a promotion.
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to look for, sorry.
Yep. No, okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah. I would say you may just want to reword that one a little bit, considering we do an absolutely massive amount of promotion management today. That's probably the number one service within our headquarter teams is the planning and execution and follow through of promotions.
And then for the dogs, this is a low market growth, low relative market share. This could also include traditional marketing, like flyers, posters. This could be a declining because we're moving more into like a digital age of advertising. So like Instagram and like social media advertising, as well as TV, or not TV, sorry, just like pretty much like social media advertising, or better ways to reach higher audiences with a much lower cost as well, compared to like radio ads or certain ads that cost more. And then food service data management. The traditional way of managing food data is declining due to better technology techniques and AI as well, taking a huge part of this. And the way that things are done when it comes to managing certain types of sales when it comes to food, or how much profit a certain type of offering or food made, and beverages as well. And other dogs could potentially include just food items that are not getting enough engagement to sell.
Good stuff.
All right, so for the competitive landscape, Acosta has several competitors in the marketing and sales industry, and some of them include Advantage Solutions, Crossmark, Damon Worldwide, and Spar Group. So for Advantage Solutions, they were established in 1987. They're a marketing agency that offers sales, marketing, and retail services that drive growth both in-store and online. And their revenue is about $4 billion. Then Crossmark, they're established in 1905, so they're one of the older companies. And they're a sales and marketing service company that operates within the consumer goods industry. They offer service-based solutions to help brands grow in-store and online. And their revenue was $9.2 billion, so they were one of the highest. Then Damon Worldwide, they were established in 1970. They are the world's largest private brand agency. They combine a global presence with strong relationships with manufacturers, retailers, and brands. Their revenue was $1.8 billion. And then lastly is Spar Group. They were established in 1967. They are a global merchandising and marketing services company. They provide a broad range of services to retailers, manufacturers, and distributors worldwide, and their revenue is $261 million.
All right, I'm doing the ability to leverage domestic customers into expansion in international market. Acosta has great leverage with its current domestic customers and has great leverage to expand into an international market. Acosta has strong and trusted relationships with some of their domestic customers and domestic partners. With high-profile brands such as Campbell's, Clorox, Kellogg's, and Microsoft. They have great leverage with these brands, and since they are such high-profile and well-known brands, being able to use those relationships and brands to be able to expand into an international market would make it much easier. Also, Acosta can utilize good market research and maybe some localizing market research. So this way they can understand what markets they would be expanding into better. Also, a way Acosta can leverage its domestic customers is by doing some cross-selling, which will allow Acosta to be able to sell and market some international products to their domestic customers and vice versa. And that's it.
Hey, Sanveer, just really quickly on that slide, I'm going to bring the notes up again. Is right there is cross-selling. So you guys are hitting a lot of the notes that I heard earlier today from feedback from our board. It's good stuff.
I believe that should be it from what we have. Yeah, that's pretty much it for our presentation. Is there any questions?
Any lingering questions for me? Anything that I can help with?
I have a question. This is Amira Dave. Hi.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that there are some companies that are taking advantage of certain technological advances that Acosta is not. Do you think that they're not taking advantage of that tech because it changes so often, or is it training? Is it the staffing? Like, what do you think that might be leading to that?
So when I think about that, I think about like which companies are making what kind of big bets on emerging technology. So like I mentioned Pensa. It was our choice to form a strategic partnership with Pensa because we believe their tech is best in class. We know our competitors are using Pensa's competitors, right? And are making different levels of investment in that technology, you know, in the realm of computer vision, artificial intelligence, and image recognition, or making no investment at all, right? Like, you know, different agencies are looking at that very differently. Even to go so far as one of Pence's main competitors is a company named Trax. And Trax started as an image recognition company and is now getting into retail execution. So now they're coming after our cheese, right? So, you know, like 5 years ago, we would not have considered them a competitor. Honestly, we pretty much still don't. But they're trying to kind of chip away at our massive base of retail execution because the shelf intelligence landscape is so complicated. So I'd say it's probably unlikely that y'all are going to be able to find a lot of publicly available information about what kind of tech these companies are investing in. So I made that comment more as just capture it as a challenge, not necessarily like go figure out what Crossmark is investing in, because it's going to be darn near impossible to find that out with anything public. And I'm not asking you all to go spy on my competitors. So
Yeah, 'cause I was just wondering, I'm like, so is this an opportunity to acquire one of those companies, like say Trax, if you get Trax to work or have Pensa acquired Trax, so therefore Acosta has control over with Pensa and Trax. So
yeah,
like if
yeah.
you find out who they are, but yeah.
You ask Amira a lot of the same questions that I do every day. That's all I'll say about that.
You're on the inside, you know.
Yep.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Good job. We have one more group. Group 4.
All right, just give me a minute, guys.
Sure.
Here we go.
Looks good.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer. So I will be doing a brief overview of Acosta. So Acosta is a sales and marketing agency that provides market research and analysis, sales performance analytics, and supply chain analytics, which allow for insight to project future sales based on location, marketing, and product price. In the next slide, I will talk about the key milestones. Can you switch to the next slide? Okay, so some key milestones of Acosta. Acosta has partnered with well-known brands such as Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Clorox, Kellogg, and many others. Acosta has also been able to expand their company outside of the United States, such as Europe and Canada. And Acosta has acquired OEP, which is an in-class agency that is focused on providing premium assistance services to clients across multiple categories and increase brand presence. This will provide customers with digital commerce services that will allow to increase business. And in the next slide, I'll talk about the BCG matrix positioning, which the BCG growth share matrix is a tool used internally by management to access the current state of value of a firm's unit or product lines. The four main categories are dogs, cash cows, question marks, and stars. So for dogs, that's services and products that are struggling to go up the market. An example of this is food service which falls under this category because the demand is not always high. Acosta could use their potential in other services. Under cash cows, there's retail execution. Since they provided their services to Walmart, for example, they provide services such as cost savings and shopping satisfaction, which gives high market share, but there's a low growth rate due to online shopping taking over. Under question marks, there's marketing services. Help a lot of companies target their ideal shoppers, and marketing will always have a high growth because it puts companies out there. And under stars, there's digital commerce, which is fast. E-commerce has been growing, and being able to work with companies on this would increase the market share. With technology constantly advancing, keeping up with it is important.
So, hey, before you move off of this one, just a couple of quick comments. I might challenge the food service comment on the first one. So I would agree that a company like mine acquiring core food service during COVID, when food service was essentially shut down, was probably the scariest idea anybody has ever had. It turned out to be phenomenal for us. Food service is having an amazing string of years in terms of their growth and their results. And in fact, some of their competitors have kind of announced that they're making a lot of changes that are going to make things a lot easier for us. Can't really say anything more about that, but there's been some recent press releases about other food service industries that you may want, or providers that you may want to take a look at and refine that one a little bit. And then great point on the last one around digital commerce. And I think it'll be really important for us to understand, as we look at the international markets that look appealing, understanding like what are the predominant e-commerce players in those spaces. Like I would expect Amazon.com to be huge kind of everywhere. Maybe it's not. But Walmart.com is not going to be very popular in countries where there are no Walmarts. So it's just something for us to be aware of.
All right, so I'm doing the competitive landscape, and just a heads up, Dave, we did turn this in about a couple of weeks ago, so the information might be a little behind from all the new information you've given us, but Acosta is in a very competitive market with people like Crossmark and BDS being one of their major competitors. Some indirect competitors could also be digital marketing agencies who have a bigger presence online and on Instagram and social medias and stuff like that. Next, please. The competitive for this slide, I just put a couple of suggestions. I said Costa could tap into more technological advancements. There was this example with Netflix and Blockbuster where Netflix had the opportunity to Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix, but they chose not to because they thought technology wasn't going to be a big thing like it became. Some strategies I would suggest to stay in the competitive market would be they could partner up with other companies and leverage each other's strengths, and they could also build reliable brand reputation. And you guys could maybe focus on quality over quantity and just focus on the retailers you guys have now and just focus on giving them the best quality of products and services you guys offer. And that way you guys can get also free marketing through word of mouth, which is taught to us to be the best way to market something. Yeah.
I absolutely love the Netflix Blockbuster call out. I'm actually working with another school on a different project that's focused on making some predictions about what retail is going to look like in 10 years. And actually used Netflix versus Blockbuster as a way to talk about kind of the crazy changes we've seen shifting from like low tech to high tech in just about everything. And that was the perfect example. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And then my name is Kyle. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ability of Acosta to leverage with domestic customers with international expansion. So the first thing that I've identified, a few of these are going to be a little repetitive, which kind of shows us that we're on the right track. The first one would be adaptation of marketing strategies. So Acosta can leverage its experience in marketing and sales strategies in the domestic market to adapt and alter these strategies for international markets when they expand farther. They can also use data analytics and consumer insights gained from domestic operations to apply to these international strategies. The second one we identified would be risk mitigation. Acosta can leverage their existing relationships with clients, with domestic suppliers and manufacturers, and they can use this to optimize its international supply chain to negotiate favorable terms, ensure quality control, and streamline logistics. And we also identified an area that needed to be addressed would be resource sharing and collaboration. Acosta can collaborate with its domestic clients to share resources, expertise, and market insights for international expansion efforts. This collaboration can help minimize risk and optimize strategies for entering new markets. And then the same slide continued. Another area we identified would be brand expansion. Acosta can introduce its domestic clients' brands to international markets where there might be a demand for that certain product that Acosta is promoting. Another one would be cross-border distribution channels. Acosta can utilize existing distribution channels for international expansion. They can use their existing client portfolio as foundation for building credibility and trust with international distributors. And then market knowledge. Acosta can leverage its understanding of domestic markets to identify similarities and differences in international markets.
I don't know if this was an Amber slide.
Sorry, this is my side.
Oh,
My name
is
So I was working on the SWOT. A lot of the information that I got was 2008. I'm sorry, not 2008, 2020 around COVID. I don't know why I said 2000. I have no idea where that came from.
They both feel about the same amount of time away, right? Like
I don't know why I said that. I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
it's all good. You're doing great.
So what's helpful internally is their critical expertise, their diverse talent, and their innovative technology. I actually had notes and I cannot find them, so I'm just going to go off of what I remember. A lot of opportunities that Acosta has is that their innovative technology, they have trusted relationships, maximum ROI research groups for growing bases like natural and organic product shoppers. Something that could be harmful weakness is the work culture. I was doing a lot of research on, like looking for bad stuff. I didn't really find anything bad that related to the company itself, except the 2020 bankruptcy and some people on talking about the work culture and unpredictability of consumer shopping patterns, which I think that pertains to everybody in the market, not just Acosta. And then the fact that 80% of its revenues from brick and mortar stores. The threats is competitors, obviously. People believe that we're in a recession, so a lot of their habits have changed. A lot of people choose to eat at home, and rather than buying snacks, they have been with the nutrition stuff and organic fad going on right now. A lot of people are straying away from shopping too much for unnecessary stuff. And the retailers, a lot of retailers now have their own private labels. So that is also a threat, if they want to upsell their stuff rather than market who are clients, who Acosta's clients are. And groceries are going at an all-time high currently. So that also affects the way that people are shopping because of how expensive eggs are and milk and all that stuff.
Yeah, I love the call out about private label. It's just a fascinating part of the business to look at, is the retailer wants their private label merchandise to be front and center in the layouts, while at the same time they understand where their bread gets buttered, right? And manufacturers, like the name brand manufacturers, pay a lot of money for product placement on shelves, on end caps. So while they may have a higher margin on the item itself with private label, all of the additional income that comes in from things like buying allowances, it's a very, very interesting balance to watch.
Yes, they're basically competing against themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
The next slide, please. I don't know who's in charge of the slides. Okay, so my conclusion was overall Costa is a big fish in marketing, has no actual competitor. They are huge here in the areas where they dominate. They're the most advancing technology and brand name affiliations. The main problem we encountered from doing the SWOT analysis was probably that 80% of revenue comes from brick and mortar services. In the past years, we have seen significant increase in online shopping due to COVID. To decrease the revenue from in-person marketing and increase the market services segment, which makes up the other 20% of Acosta's revenue, we must increase experiential marketing, assisted selling and training, content marketing, and shopper marketing.
Cool.
And I think that was the end.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Great job. Like, we went 5 for 5, Professor. That was great. Group 1, did you guys have any kind of outstanding burning questions for me? Nope. Okay, all good. Couple of things that I wanted to kind of ask the group as either thought starters. You can include this in your research or not. Is there any considerations we need to have around the fact that we are owned by private equity while some of our competitors are publicly traded? Is that any kind of a factor for international expansion? And then similar but different, we have several national competitors. We also have several regional competitors. So as we look at international markets, which of those, depending on the markets you look at, will be interesting to see. Like, do we expect most of our competition to come from national agencies in that geography, or from maybe a large number of smaller players in the space? I would tell you, like, on a retail level, we compete more with the national players. In omni-channel, like the individual grocers websites, we compete much more on a kind of a regional or even a local level. So we're a national house, and we have a national omni-channel team. There are dozens of little niche brokerages that only serve one retailer, and they all are right there in the same city as the company's headquarters. So there's dozens of e-commerce companies that only do Walmart.com here in Bentonville. The same can be said with Kroger in Cincinnati and Target in Minnesota. So just something to kind of keep an eye on. I absolutely loved the fact that every single group had most, if not all, of their members presenting. So keep that up. I love hearing from everybody. If you would do me the favor of just let me know your name when you start your presentation section, that would be terrific. And then the last note that I took for everybody was, I am super excited to see where each group goes from here as their kind of unofficial starting point. Is some of the groups focused on our strength being with brands, some on our strength with technology, some with our strengths with capabilities. So there's quite a few like diverging paths from here. So I'm even more excited now to see where everybody goes with the next steps of this project. This is fantastic work.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much. Learned a lot from all the presentations. So I want to thank everyone who presented.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
So we are going to be delving into the weeds, cultural, economic, geographic, kind of where this leads us now. I think we have our next check-in session the week before spring break, which would be
So week after next, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So class, any other questions for Dave while we've got him? Anything else?
I got some information. I couldn't find a lot of information online, so I went on IBIS World and I spoke to somebody there, the director of business development, and she gave me access to all the Acosta files that they have. If they did ask me what I wanted the research for, I told them it was like semi-private research, but that you know, it was for my school, and I gave her like my school email and my professor's name, and if any of you guys want that information, I can give you the files.
Very cool.
Where was this, Karina?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Who is the source that did this?
So it's IBIS World, and her name is Karen Parker Massaroni. She's the director of business development.
Well,
I mean, I'd like a copy. So
yeah, I saw the same thing. I was wondering.
Yeah, on the share site or something like that. I'd love to take a look at it.
Okay.
I saw the same thing. I thought about doing the same thing. I was like, should I just say that I'm doing a research project for my school? Good work.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the initiative.
Is that something that we should put on the shared file, Dave?
Sure. Yeah. If you guys are up for that, that'd be awesome. Just make it available for everybody.
Karina, if that's okay?
Yeah, I'll forward it to you, Miss Sheldon, and then you can share it with everybody.
Okay, wonderful.
So, Professor, I know you mentioned kind of what your next step is. I would encourage the group, don't be shy. As you start looking at a specific geography, if you find something that you would qualify as a showstopper, just call it like you see it and don't waste any more time on that space, right? If something just jumps out at you that says, this isn't a good fit, like I'm okay with taking, you know, like one or two things that you see as like, this makes this an absolute no-go, and we didn't pursue it any further because it would just be a waste of your time, Dave. Now, I say that, Professor, if you still want the students to do some additional research for the purposes of the class, I'm all for that. I'm just kind of giving you all the freedom within that framework.
Well, obviously, there's a huge amount of opportunity out there and a huge amount to kind of run down. So I think that given this fact-finding section here and getting some validation from you, I think that'll help narrow down the field. And you know, the parameters that I look at for cultural and economic and political, I mean, there it's voluminous, and a lot of them you can just go, no, 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 no. But
That's right.
That's kind of where we are right now.
Okay, perfect.
So, and if same thing, if there's something from you that says, oh, don't even bother looking at that, or let us know.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, it's going to be a quick winnowing phase right now just to get to where we need to be.
I like it.
Cool. So, and then we have not been utilizing the shared database, the shared files as much yet, because we wanted to get some of the preliminary groundwork done. So again, Jacqueline has said, please don't hesitate to bother Dave. We'll try to keep it within reason.
Yeah, I have not yet once felt bothered, so you guys are great.
Okay.
If things come up before a week from today or 2 weeks from today, just let me know.
Okay.
I will be out of town next week, so
Okay.
my reply might be a little bit delayed, but if you got
Oh, you're
stuff,
great. You're wonderful to work with. So responsive. We really appreciate it.
yeah, I'm having fun with this. I hope you all are too.
All right.
All right, y'all enjoy the rest of class. I hope professor doesn't keep you for too many more hours, but this has been great, and I look
Only
forward
4 more
to.
hours.
Yeah,
Thank
perfect.
you, Dave.
Take
Thanks,
care,
Dave.
everybody.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay, you guys. Whew, deep breath. You guys
Yeah.
did fantastically. Oh, I'm so proud of all of you guys. You were rock stars. So, yeah, any thoughts that you guys had? Anything surprised you? Does it seem like we're just clicking along as you expected it would?
I was surprised that we were going to be presenting, because I remember like kind of wondering if we were gonna like give him all like because I knew we would have overlapping information. I wasn't sure if the intention was to have where everyone does a piece of the research um and then everyone has a chance to present something that they learned kind of differently about Acosta. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
have that information. Are we going to be presenting to him again in the next phases?
We will at the end. I don't think we have a formal, I'm gonna share my screen, you guys, and get back to the calendar here. Okay, sorry about that. Can't think and talk at the same time sometimes. And I knew he was on a tight time schedule tonight, and I was kind of weighing, do we want to, go through everyone's, but I think you really have to, because that kind of shows your progression of getting to wherever you are in the whole process, So, I think that was something that was good to do. And even if it did take a little bit more time, and I think Dave was totally cool with that after he got into this a little bit more. And yes, I think that if we do it, we really have to look at it in its entirety from every group to have it make sense, really, have it sequential. These were our assumptions going into it, and kind of walk through that overview, the lay of the land, where you thought the SWOT analysis was revealing, where you looked at the cash cows, the whole BCG matrix. I think each group had to go through that to see where you were going in the future. So yes, I think tonight was needed, and I'm glad that we were able to get that additional time with Dave. I think that, the next check-in is in 2 weeks. We don't have to do the full presentation at that point in time. I think that we can use that as a time to start asking some of the geopolitical, economic, cultural questions that we might have. And I think some of you are already drilling into an idea, some options where you would recommend we go further. And I think at that time, it's kind of a winnowing out stage again to kind of set your path a little bit more concretely. So then during Easter break, spring break, and the week that follows, you can be putting the fine tuning on the presentation. So in answer to your question, Amira, no, I don't foresee this as being a sit down going through a whole deck again. But what I would like next week in class is for you guys to let me know where you think you want to go. Because at this point, I think Dave would pretty much go along with whatever we were asking for him. So if you think that each group needs to kind of walk through where they are, that's great. If you want to do that through private messages with him, through the portal, we could do that as well. Where do you guys stand right now? I should clarify that.
Go ahead.
How are the groups feeling about next steps from here? Did tonight help solidify any assumptions that you had or answer any questions that you might have? Or are you feeling pretty good about the project? Or are you still wondering what the heck we're doing?
I think it was helpful. I appreciate that Dave is open and available. He's like, whenever you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm curious about when you said that once we get all of the information kind of together, that we're going to be putting it in the project files. But I just was curious at how we're going to kind of put all that together, and yeah, just kind of how we all kind of get on the same page and put it all together. I guess once we go through everything, and then start to upload information to there once it's kind of consolidated. I guess that's what I'm thinking.
What I'm envisioning is we have 5 presentations at the end of the day. So
Okay.
that final presentation to Acosta will be 5 final presentations, and each team does their final bit, which will take your project from each team from start to finish. So
Okay.
where these individual packets might be 5 to 10 pages, we'll be continuing to fine tune that to the end, where I think we've got we're shooting for a 20-minute presentation.
Right.
I think is what the I'm gonna get out of here and go to the assignment section of it. So this final presentation, 30 to 40 minutes, 20 to 30 yeah, 30 to 40 minutes. And I would actually winnow that down. I don't know why I have 20 to 30, because that would be, we'd be here all night with 5 groups. So let's bring that down to 20 to 30 minutes, and I would shoot for around 20.
Okay. I know we have 3 hours in class. If we run out of, I guess we probably shouldn't run out of time. I guess questions and answers, questions being answered, I guess, throughout the process. But is it possible to split it up to where some can present like the week before and then some present the week after?
That might be a good plan, because we do have time in the calendar. We've got um,
That's so May 14th.
yeah, we have, yeah, because we were going to have the final paper to Acosta the week later. So what we could do is final presentations both the 16th and the 23rd. How does that sound?
Yeah. Yeah, can we do that?
Does anybody feel like, oh, it might be, I mean, that there would be anything to gain from going the first week versus going the second week, or vice versa?
I guess if the deadline is to say the deadline is to submit, so that everything is submitted, and then who, I guess we can decide who presents,
Yeah.
the first week and who presents the second week, but I guess the deadline for submission would still be the same date for everyone.
Yeah, and I have a feeling, and with all the options out there, because you're not only, picking a geographic country or area, but, also what is it that you're going to be, what's going to be driving that expansion? There are untold options available. So I don't think we're exactly going to be stepping on each other with solutions. Now, there will be commonalities in describing the competitive landscape, the technical advances that are being made to can accommodate this. But the world is your oyster for the most part. So we can do that. What is that sounding okay?
Anyone else have some opinions about that?
Do we
That
do
works with me.
Yeah, I think it's fair if as long as we're all submitting it at the same time. I see no problem with that.
And we won't be so, it will give you a little bit more time. You won't have to feel like you're racing against the clock during the presentation. We won't be brain dead by hearing 5 teams presenting, because that's a lot. Even if we have the time that we can spend on that, is still a lot to absorb. And I think Dave will probably agree with that too. That's a lot to absorb. And two, then we don't run, to our, 8:30, which would be his 10:30, So are we good then with keeping those due dates as they are? And we will just, I don't know, we'll figure out how to break that up into week 1 versus week 2. If you guys have any big burning desire to go one week over another, otherwise we could just draw straws or whatever, or I could just draw names out of a proverbial hat. There are good and bad things with going first versus going last, so. Okay, so what we're saying then is that we are going to see, am I still sharing my screen here or no?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still being shared.
Okay. So that's, I will touch base with Dave on that, but, oh yeah, the final presentation to Acosta. So that would be the due date. So that would be April 23rd class and April 30th class.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that green, but that's when the due date was, is that Sunday night before. So the due dates would still be the same. It would just be the Acosta presentation would be over 2 weeks.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not gonna be able to make it to the April 30th class.
okay.
Uh, but like, is there any way that we can make sure that like group 5 goes on April 23rd?
I don't see a problem with that at all.
Okay, cool. All
Yeah,
right, thank you.
sure. And if there are dates like that for you guys, since we're kind of changing the schedule, let me know, please. And we can make sure we can accommodate that. And I
Okay.
will talk to Dave and get back to you guys on that too. So, okay. Any other questions? Any other,
Yeah, I have a quick question, Professor.
yeah.
How can we access the recording from tonight's meeting? There was a lot of, I feel like Dave had a lot of valuable feedback.
Oh, okay. Yes, I will put the recording somewhere and let you guys know where it is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Is it gonna be in the same place as you put the Acosta International Project? Because I see one recording there, I guess it's from last week.
Oh, yeah, I loaded that up and put it in there. So I'll do the same thing and put it in the module.
Okay, so it'll be under Acosta International Project.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you know when I do that. Okay. So there are a couple things that I want to go through with you tonight. We're not going to do a lecture tonight. Thank goodness. But we do need to look at, yeah, so this we will, you can look through that if you want, but I'll try to capture the highlights and move that into next week. So I've got a lot of highlights, the best of 5 or 6 lectures that we haven't done because we're doing the real world stuff here. Okay, so and everyone knows that the quizzes are over. We've got the team skill assessments, but not until the end of the month, and then one in April. So no worries about that, and that's kind of a no-brainer thing anyway. It's just more feedback than anything else. The case study, we're going to put that aside and not look at it until a little bit further down the road here. The simulations, we've got one more mini sim at the end of this month, and then those 2 full simulations, but don't worry about those until, you know, we get further down, get this project behind us. And so what we're doing now is the cultural and the geopolitical and economic assessments. And have you discussed kind of these next steps as a team? Or are you kind of starting from scratch at this point of saying, okay, we've got that first part behind us. Now where do we go?
Seems like each week is different and new.
What do you mean?
Just from the starting point. So like we started with like Acosta in its background and we did a little bit of the sim. And just kind of being able to touch base and discuss like the cultural part now. Because we didn't really discuss that in the first phase. So now we're moving into another phase. Like, the previous one was the global food and drink trends. So like it's just each week it's something
right.
Yeah, a little bit different. And then
Right.
figure out a way to work it all together. So each week is something new.
Yes, good point. And one of the reasons why I wanted to parcel out the global food trends as a separate report, but not go through that, is because now what we need to be doing is looking at, you know, where Acosta's strengths are, you know, where they have opportunities, you know, where they're walking rather gingerly because it could be a minefield out there. you kind of have a good idea what Acosta is about at this point. So then we're going into the global food and drink trends. And this will tell you kind of what's going on in terms of the consumer demand. Because nothing will be successful unless there is a demand that would lead to recommending that as an option for Acosta. So just because Acosta wants to go to India and there's a lot of people in India, the trade, whatever, you can look at the cultural, you can look at the geopolitical factions, that's great. But what are you going to sell when you get there? Why is that a good idea? So you start marrying these global trends with those countries that would be a likely target audience for them. It's got to start with the consumer demand. Got to start with the consumer. And then really looking at sifting through the cultural, the political, the economic, that's all really just does it fit? So let's say I'm looking at Team 3's right in front of me on the food and global trend. And technology trends, yeah, that is great. And so and that is a very big thing right now. So what are those countries that would be the most adaptive, that are at the forefront of these trends? International, oh, I like this, mood food. I like that. But anyway, looking at some of these global trends in food and where are they seeing that corresponding in the geography of the world. So now you've got these different puzzles, and how does it fit together? And I know you think, okay, we're jumping from one to the other, but these are going to be those fibers that knit this all together. Let me pull up okay, just for example, and I think I had this posted posted in assignments. I was adjusting it real quick. Okay. Let's look first at the cultural side. Cultural analysis allows the marketer to make informed market planning decisions, goes beyond product and market analysis, looking at some of the business customs and other cultural features of the country. And this is where there is just a laundry list of attributes that could be good or bad, applicable or completely disregarded when making those kind of decisions. These are just some of the cultural aspects that go into any of these types of decisions to see if it matches up appropriately. Now, some of this is going to be absolutely not relevant to what you're doing. I don't think Acosta really cares about drama, ballet, or folklore dances, but other attributes of this very, very much will come into play. Diet and nutrition. And goodness, we're seeing all the plant-based trends, and we didn't even really get started with the food and global trends on plant-based foods right now. But that definitely has a niche in certain certain areas. So, and goodness, just looking at like the group 3 food things, ma'am, and trying to look at that in relationship with some of these areas. And there's some really cool, cool fits in here. So this is just culture. Now we can also look at economic. Oh, this is the whole thing. Yeah. The economic analysis. You know, and there again, there's some countries that it's not going to make a difference. There are going to be others where don't even bother, because this is not conducive to Acosta being able to do anything in there. So we start getting into a lot of the economic as well as the geopolitical considerations. Trade restrictions. Boy, and this year is such a hot button for trade issues that there could be certain areas of the world that you don't want to play in just because there is so much turmoil right now. You know, I'm thinking China, and granted that food and beverage isn't the area that's under a lot of contestment, not like iPhones and Teslas, but still, there are parts of the world that you'll probably just rule them out as being more trouble than they're worth. So again, you don't have to address all of these things, but look at them. And this will almost be a filtering device. And that could be the best way to look at it. And then lastly, we have the marketing element that we're not looking at this until after, well, this will be over the course of the spring break. But there again, this is kind of a laundry list. However, when we get into the marketing component, it is a little bit more, because we've already gone through the cultural and the geopolitical and the economic. So by the time you get into this phase, you'll have a lot of these questions answered, or at least know where you're going with it. You know, like consumer buying habits, product use patterns, product feature preferences, shopping habits, all of that has already gone into the cultural filter and the geopolitical filter. So this part has been filtered for you. You just need to make it all fit and see how that, it's more of a coordination issue as much as anything else. Okay, questions? Oh,
I'm always the one. Is this document available to us?
yeah, it is. I was kind of fine tuning it. I'm going to put the final version on the website right now. Well, after class, so I don't screw it up. But yeah, it will be embedded in those assignments that that's in under cultural assessment, geopolitical and economic assessment, and then the marketing plan. So I would think, and what time is it right now? Oh, it's 10 after 8. Did Dave provide you with any questions that you might have had that your group was waiting for some kind of sign? Are you guys pretty good at that with that right now? And have you had a chance to start looking at the global food trends in terms of where you want to go with it? I know you've got a lot of great data in these presentations. Have you started filtering through that with some items that look like they'd be a good fit for Acosta? Because that's probably where you want to start now. Start with the consumer. Look at these trends, knowing what you know about Acosta now. What would be the right steps for them to take, or at least to start narrowing this down? Because that's going to drive what countries are in your consideration set. So I know it's getting late, you guys. I know your brain is probably fried, but what I'd like to do is break you guys up into groups, or you could like sleep on this and put do a Google Doc and start talking about it. But I think even just if you talked for 10 to 15 minutes with your group over how you thought it went tonight with Dave, these global food trends, and let's do a first blush at where this would lead us where this would lead you in terms of Acosta's expansion.
Hey, I have a question before we go. I know that we, group 5 for our presentation today had a shortened version of what we sent you. Would you like us to
Oh,
send
I
you?
would love that. I'd love it. Yeah.
All right, I'll get that to you.
Okay. So yeah, if you made any version changes for any of the groups, if you could send them to me, that'd be great. So let's do this. This country cultural assessment is not due until the 24th. So you've got almost 2 weeks. But I will fill in the parameters that you need to look at for the cultural assessment, for the geopolitical and the economic, and we can get, and the marketing plan. And why don't you just do a kind of a debrief tonight, and then if you would, if your group has an idea where you might want to go, I would split this up in terms of who wants to handle some of the cultural components, who wants to do geopolitical, who wants to do economic, and kind of factor the workload out that way. Does that sound like a deal?
I like that idea.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so figure that out. And then you'll have a good start of where you need to go to start getting this all pulled together. Then next week, we'll have, again, another working session where the groups will know, okay, in our group, we've got 5 people, and we've got 2 on culture, 1 on geopolitical, 1 on economic, and another person that's starting to get all this together with a marketing plan. And you've already identified perhaps a country that you think, or 2 or 3 that you think might be good candidates, and start going down that filtering process with the assessments to see what looks like it would be the most likely source. And when you're going through this too, I know a lot of Acosta's opportunity right now is in how they handle the data, is in AI. I mean, is that how they handle with the changing, well, the food service. I mean, that was very telling what Dave said about in 2020, they they really made a big push into food service right before COVID. And the fact that you've got a lot of channel blurring now in retail food and food service food, and, you know, all the different avenues that people can buy food with and through, those could also be a point of differentiation for Acosta. Questions, you guys? Are you feeling okay about this? Are you feeling like you're drowning, or is it, do you see?
I do just have one quick question. I know you talked about you're going to put us in the breakout rooms and then kind of go over, delegate which parts we're going to work on. I know you said the cultural assessment, the geopolitical and economic assessment, kind of break that up between the groups. But I'm looking at the calendar and it's showing part 3 and part 4, that those are 2 separate parts, and each one is showing a 5 to 10 page slide presentation. So are we combining those 2, or are they both going to be 2 separate PowerPoint presentations, just due at the same time?
Yeah, they're due at the same time, but they're going to, and if you want to, you know, usually if you do a cultural assessment, that's going to be a bit of a standalone. But if you want to treat this like one big one, that's fine too.
Okay. But I was just wondering, for the expectations, you're expecting about 5 to 10 slides for each of those topics, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and for each of these, you can do it all together. The reason I broke this out is because it's easy to break it out that way. And if you're doing it as a team, you can say, okay, country cultural assessment, we've got these 2 people on our team that are doing it for all of us, because this is all going to work together as well. It's all going to have to be, you know, synchronized, so that while they may be separate assessments, it's going to have to be coordinated.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Would it be easier for you guys if I blended these 2 together? Because I could totally do that.
I'm not too sure. I think I don't
Okay.
know. I'll leave that up to someone else. I don't want to make that call for everyone.
Okay. You know, one more thing. If you guys wanted to kind of sleep on this tonight, and if we even wanted to set up Zoom calls with your team, you know, we could arrange to do that with the individual teams just over Zoom, so we could talk it through. And I know everybody's schedules are tight, but I could kind of carve out some times and give you guys a chance to sleep on this. Let me. Does everyone have pretty crazy schedules that there'd be no way they could do it? Or you want me to kind of send out a next steps for your group to kind of begin walking through over the next day or two when it's not 8:30, 8:20.
I think that works a little bit better because it's kind of like I'm a little bit drained and it's a bit muddled, but I feel like yeah, having that next step would be a helpful guide going forward.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a next steps as soon as we get off the phone and send out the announcement. And then I would ask the teams to just kind of amongst your teammates decide, would it be helpful if we grabbed a quick Zoom call, 10-15 minutes with the professor, just so we could ask any questions, any loose ends. If not all of your team could make it, if you want 2 or 3 people to kind of speak for it, just let me know. And if you want to just do this, via email too, that's fine too. Whatever makes it the easiest for you guys, because I know everyone's schedules are tight. Okay. Do you want to go into breakout rooms right now just to debrief with each other, and then you can I won't come around, you guys can just say, oh gosh, thank goodness that's over, but the next step's going to be even worse. So I'm cognizant that it's been a long class thus far. So breakout rooms, yes or no? Just give me a thumbs up on the screen. Okay. Okay. We're tied. Okay. I will do the breakout rooms. And if you guys just want to get in there and say, let's defer this, that's fine too. Okay. And I would ask if you guys, it might be good to just say, do we want a follow-up meeting that we could do later this week? And then let me know whatever you want to do. And I will definitely get out next steps as soon as we get off the call. Okay. All right. Okay. You guys are awfully quiet. I know. Okay.
It's like
Okay. Have we already started losing people? No, we're all still here. Okay. All right. That started. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Started anew. Room okay, four. Oh. Viviana, are you in group 1?
Sorry, did you say Angel?
Oh, yeah, Angel, who else is Autumn, Oscar, who else is in your group?
Viviana.
Ashley?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and I'm missing 2. Avi's in group 2, right? No, I don't know, you guys. Okay, help me out here. Who else is in group 1? Angel, Ashley, Autumn, Oscar.
Viviana is as well.
Okay,
And I think
Do you want me to read the entire list of names?
yeah,
group?
you should.
yeah, okay. Group 5, I know we've got,
It's
you guys might have like some-
Carlos, and then Ryan, Kiara, Jacqueline.
Okay. Okay, I think I've got everyone there then. Okay, group 2 is Amira, Brandon, Anicia. Manuel and Jairus. Okay, 3. We have Avi, Serjan, Crystal, Kimberly, are you in? Yes, you're in group 5. And Jacqueline is in group 5. Okay, you guys, I think we have everyone. So with that, I'm going to open all the rooms and I'll send something out and I'm going to ask you to get back to me with what you want to do if you think it's if you see any merit in getting together with your group as a team with me before our next meeting. Okay? Okay. Are we good? We feel good? Okay. You guys did a great job tonight. Okay? Sometimes there are no easy answers and we just got to keep going forward and the fog will lift. Trust me on this, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Good night, you guys.
Right.
So how did the class go? Tell me, did you crying?
No,
Oh.
No.
okay.
no,
I've seen you come out of class, but I've never seen you come out and hear it before.
no, this
Did he?
is what our little guy did.
What is that?
It's full of pots from out there. I
Oh,
got,
jeez. What is it with pots?
and then, did you notice the coffee table?
I
Because he
didn't-
would not,
I didn't go in there because I didn't want to bother you.
he would not
Oh,
get out from under that little area. It's like now he thinks that the end of every rainbow is under pieces of furniture.
Well, because all of his,
Yeah.
all of his toys end up under pieces of furniture.
Yeah, and so he's waiting to have more toys appear. He doesn't
Don't
seem to
walk
have
away
that
from
whole
me.
positive effect.
I'm coming this way and you're walking this way, so I had to run you down.
No. These people, I don't know why they don't talk. I mean,
You know, Kathy, one of the things that and you can't beat it into them. But one of the things that they have to figure out before they graduate from college is participation in the business world is a requirement.
yeah,
You know, you can't sit in your little dark corner and pretend that you're working and expect to succeed. Hell, expect to keep a job.
and
Come on, man, I'm going into the kitchen. Yeah, do you need your water?
I just, Dave was happy with it,
Okay, well.
but
But
look at this semester, this is half the semester is done. Oh,
What?
oh.
Yeah. I didn't stop that when I walked. I turned off the light. No, we can't keep it, it's a great one. He did the tax. What is it with you? Okay.
Oh, it's right here with that. But it's just God awful, horrible. I've never had a dog. No, I'm not gonna get rid of that.
We'll just bury him in the backyard. If he digs his way out, he's good. If not, well. Huh? Not since I've been home, no. We're gonna check the middle, see if it was still. Little hope I want to be by, help.
Yeah, crap color that dyes your skin before you can even get them in your mouth.
I love that about. Our buddy Jeanette and Jay were there tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and Jeanette's arguing with me about my sobriety date.
What?